The Dodgers get back into the win column. They beat the Minnesota Twins. 4 home runs for the Dodgers. Shohei Ohtani makes history once again. Tanner Scott exits the game with an apparent injury. We've got an update on Tanner Scott. We're breaking it all down next on the Dodgers Nation postgame show.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
Dodgers win!
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball.
Grand slam! It's a double for Freddie.
They're going to make big signings. They're going to make impact trades. This is the most anticipated season in Dodgers history.
Dodgers have won it all in 2020.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
The 1-2 pitch. Driven to center field. Outman goes back. He's at the wall. Makes the catch to end the game. That close.
Unclench those butt cheeks. What a tight one at Dodgers Stadium. It looked like Carlos Correa, one of the ultimate Dodgers villains, who went 0 for 5 on the night, who was hearing cheater, cheater, cheater chants all night long. It looked like he was going to tie it. He had an opportunity after the Minnesota Twins clawed their way back into possibly tying this one and sending it into extra innings. Tanner Scott, he left the game in the 9th inning. He was pitching in a way where it looked like, okay, they're going to find a way to have Tanner Scott have a good moment there, and it's going to be that. Well, he ends up getting Castro to fly out to center after he walked Buxton. Then he hit Lee with the pitch. Yates comes in, runners on first and second. He walked Jeffers on 6 pitches. Then Clemens hit a sac fly to center. Nice job by James Outman hitting the cutoff man. And then with Correa at the plate, 1-2 count. Really nice job by James Outman playing no doubles. And James didn't let that one go out. Man, he kept it in, and the Dodgers finally get a win. They snap their losing streak. They had lost their last 10 out of 12 games, did the Dodgers, but they get back in the win column. They improved to 59-42 on the year. The Padres did win earlier, so it's important for the Dodgers to get a win to keep pace in the National League West. The Dodgers now maintain their 3.5 game lead on the San Diego Padres, but what a game at Dodgers Stadium. It felt like almost a must-win in the regular season just because of team morale, the way things were slipping. You're kind of free-falling in the division and the league. And it was Shohei Ohtani, Will Smith, Andy Pages, 3 of the most consistent Dodgers this season, 2 of their all-stars this year. They said, not on my watch. We're ending this losing streak tonight. And it started with Shohei Ohtani on the mound in the first inning. Second pitch of the game to Byron, I should be a Dodger Buxton, because I think it'd be a great fit. Well, second pitch of the game, he crushes one halfway up the left field pavilion. He crushes one right to left center, 410 feet. That gives the Twins an early 1-0 lead, and it was a pitch that just was a sweeper that didn't do much sweeping. He left it up in the zone, and Byron Buxton, he got a mistake, and he punished it. And Shohei Ohtani had really not been hit too hard in his last start, but you saw a lot of hard contact early in this one. It was the second pitch of the game. He hits it deep into that pavilion for a solo shot. He had an 8-inning scoreless streak heading into the start, and Byron Buxton snaps that. And then Will Castro, he comes up to the plate. He hits another Ohtani sweeper, but Freddie Friedman makes a nice read on it. He makes the play, makes the catch there at first base for the out. So both hard hit balls, both north of 100 miles per hour off the bat on those exit velos. But Shohei, he did not blink. He did not flinch. He stayed with that sweeper. He threw 6 more sweepers on the night, got some swing and miss, got 3 swing strikes off. He got a called strike, and he also had a strikeout on it later in the game. So on the night, Shohei Ohtani, pitching-wise, he, outside of that first inning, got the job done. He gave up 3 more hits. He also issued a walk, but gave up no runs after that in his 3 innings of work. And now, since he's returned, he's pitched 12 innings, has 13 strikeouts to just 3 walks, and a 1.5 ERA. That's the pitcher. That was your starting pitcher in this one. And you know what the best thing about being Shohei Ohtani is? Is if you give up a leadoff home run to Byron Buxton, if you give up a leadoff home run, well, guess what? You're going to get an at-bat in the bottom half of the first inning, and thanks to a Mookie Betts walk, Shohei had a runner on base, and not only did he get that run back, he hit a 2-run shot to give the Dodgers a 2-1 lead.
Superman hitting the ball in the air to center field. The starting pitcher hits a monster home run.
So try to process that. Let that marinate. Let that swirl around in all of your baseball brains out there that the starting pitcher of this game, who gave up a home run in the top half of the first inning, came back and hit a 2-run shot. 441 feet. Not a wall scraper, an absolute, no doubt about it, light tower power, parking lot power bomb. And he is the first pitcher to give up a home run and hit a home run in the first inning of the same game since Randy Lurch did it for the Philadelphia Phillies in a 23-22 win over the Chicago Cubs on May 17th, 1979. It's only been done 3 times in the history of Major League Baseball. Shohei Ohtani does things that literally no other player is capable of doing. That's how good Shohei Ohtani is. Just an absolute moonshot after giving up a bomb. And this is what I love about Shohei Ohtani, is nicest guy in the world. Please and thank you. Nothing but class, nothing but respect. Steps up to the plate, tips his cap to the umpire, tips his cap to the other team, always smiling. But this dude has dog in him that is off the absolute charts. His dog level, I think, is as good, if not better, than any player in Major League Baseball. Because he plays like that. And that was a statement home run, and you know he was upset the fact that he gave up a home run there in the first inning, only to come back and hit his own bomb that was a 2-run shot in the bottom of the first inning. And he was the first Dodgers pitcher to have 2 games with a home run in a season since Zach Greinke did it in 2015. So anytime I can mention Zach Greinke in a show, I'm going to do that because I miss me some Zach Greinke. He was a great Dodger. But the Dodgers flexed their power muscle tonight, and that's what it was all about. And yes, you didn't love the fact that they didn't create very many opportunities. You look at the box score, the Dodgers went 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position. They left 3 batters on base. The Dodgers, even though they won tonight, they're not creating opportunities. But still, Shohei Ohtani setting the tone on the mound and in the box, and that went a long way to snapping this losing streak. It felt like he had an extra edge tonight like he always does on the mound. He was not going to let the Dodgers lose this one. And here was Shohei Ohtani after the game talking about another historic night for the Big Show.
Shohei, in that first inning of work, you gave up that home run, but to immediately respond with that 2-run homer yourself, is there extra motivation in a situation like that?
ホームラン打たれて、ツーランホームラン打ちましたけども、いいモチベーションになりましたかと、打たれたことに関して。
先制点はもちろん与えたくはなかったですけど、1打席目ムーキーがいい形で出てくれたので、つなげればいいなという思いで打席に入り、結果的にホームランになったんで良かったなと思います。
It's not an ideal situation to give up a run, but Mookie had a good at-bat and just wanted to continue the good at-bat.
You guys have gotten back in the win column, but for you personally, as you continue to build up, what are your takeaways from your performance and how you continue to build your endurance on the pitching side?
イニング投げている中、何か特別に取り組んでいること、意識していることとかありますかと。
一試合一試合課題を持ってやるようにはしてるので、全体的に見たら今日はあまり良くない出来ではありましたけど、その中でもいい悪いあると思うので、それを次につなげたいなと思ってます。
I do have goals in mind, but I think overall looking back at this outing, it wasn't that crisp and sharp. So that's something I'm going to work on for the next outing.
Ultimately, you guys picked up the win today. Congratulations on this one tonight, Shohei.
Thank you.
It was his third straight game with a home run. He now has 35 home runs on the season, and he's right up there with the leaders. He's now tied with Eugenio Suarez for most home runs in the National League. That was your starting pitcher. But it was also his battery mate that was big time tonight. And if you guys watched our second half preview show, one of my bold predictions for the second half of the season, of course, you know my pet peeve is it's not the second half. There's 40% of the season left, but I digress. You understand what I'm saying? The home stretch after the All-Star break. And one of my bold predictions was that Will Smith would finish top 3 in the MVP voting in the National League. And who knows? Does he compete with Shohei Ohtani for MVP votes if he continues at this pace? Because he was a major reason why the Dodgers won tonight. The Dodgers' other MVP level player, he was massive in this one because it's a 2-1 game. You got Shohei going 3 innings. You don't know what you're going to get from Dustin May necessarily. And Will Smith, he steps up to the plate there in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Another great at-bat, 2-2 count, 2 strikes, and he crushes a bomb to center, a solo shot to make it 3-1 LA.
Smith cracks one in the air. Deep center field. Buxton going back. Running out of room. Goodbye.
So you got the clutch Prince. You got Smitty with the stick hitting a home run in a big spot. And he told me at the All-Star break, really the key for him to just making sure that the second half goes like he hopes it goes and he's peaking at the right time, he's continuing to be productive, and he's not getting injured, was just taking it game by game and making sure after the game that you're getting your treatment, that you're making sure that you're trusting them and letting Dalton Rushing get his starts. And he's still starting a really good amount of games, but he just looks fresh. And he now has 14 home runs on the season, and he's hitting 326, a 174 weighted runs created plus. I mean, he is right up there in the National League. He leads all National League players in on-base percentage, 424, batting average, 326, a weighted runs created plus of 174. Will Smith has been just incredible. I mean, I'm not saying he's leading all catchers. Let me just make that very clear. I'm not saying Will Smith is leading all catchers. I'm saying Will Smith is leading National League players in batting average, in on-base percentage, weighted runs created plus. It's astonishing the year that he's put together, and he's underrated. He's not getting the credit he deserves. By the way, I see the comments. Nando says Scammer Scott, Kirby Sharts, Tanner Scott is overpaid from Sean Allen, Ellis Shiva Jones, Paul Gutierrez. We're going to get to your comments. Absolutely. Depressing W from I don't know. Was it a depressing W? We'll get to the good news and the bad news, but let's see what transpired. And back to Will Smith in this one. He gives them the 3-1 lead, but that was not it. Later in this one, bottom of the 6th inning, after Shohei Ohtani struck out looking, Will Smith steps up to the plate, 1-1 count, and he crushes his second bomb of the night.
Rips another left center field. He's found the seats again. A long home run from Will Smith is his second of the game, and it's 4-1.
And a couple things here. You're seeing not just him hit for average, you're not just seeing him get on base, you are seeing him hit multiple home runs, and you're seeing the power numbers go up. It was his first multi-home run game since July 5th, 2024. He was fantastic tonight. He was a big reason why the Dodgers won, and here was Smitty in the Dodgers clubhouse just moments ago.
Well, multi-home run game for you. Just we've seen the consistency at the plate. Of course, the average is incredible right now, but to show more power as of late, what do you think is leading to that right now?
Just got 2 pitches in the air for today. Swing's feeling good. Being able to be consistent with it, keep it in a good spot, go out there, stick to my approach, and good things are happening.
Can you walk us through just what it was like navigating with Shohei and then with Dustin through their lineup? What was kind of keeping them off balance?
Show was going out there. He got clipped first batter of the game, but was able to go, scoreless the rest of it for the 3 innings. D-May did great tonight. He's commanding the ball, got out a couple jams. Had both heaters going. The slider was really good tonight. He's getting ahead of guys, so that was, really positive. That's a really good sign for him. Just looking to start some momentum for D-May.
Talking about wanting to keep you fresh over the course of the season, do you feel like you're in a better spot physically than maybe you were the last couple of years going into the second half?
Yeah, definitely healthy. No injuries right now or anything, which is good. Still feel like I'm playing a decent amount. Definitely want to be in there every day, but they're managing that. I feel good.
Dave said the other day that he kind of felt Shohei trying to will the team to a win. Did you see him have a little bit of a different attitude? The bat flip seemed a little more forceful tonight.
I think everybody's trying to will a win right now. The rough stretch. Got to win today. Back out tomorrow, try to get another win.
By the way, I couldn't. If I was in that scrum, I would have probably laughed a little bit. If you're going to talk to a guy named Will Smith and saying, "Were you trying to will that win?" and not attach that with no pun intended, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe a little immature on my end. I just like to laugh. That's just me. I prefer laughing over not laughing. I would have probably laughed. But Will Smith, this guy's absolutely locked in. He was fantastic tonight. 2 home run game for Smitty, and he's my Dodgers dog of the game.
Dodger dog of the game.
Just a beast night for Smitty. And then Andy Pages, he joins the home run club. The Dodgers living by the long ball on this one. If you know my motto, it's if you want the dub, you got to slug. And the Dodgers certainly did that. Bottom of the 7th inning, the Dodgers still up 4-1. Andy Pages leading things off, 1-1 count, and he crushes a dinger to make it a 5-1 game.
There's a drive to left center field. It's another bomb for the Dodgers. 4 times.
So that puts him up 5-1. And then Dustin May, want to give him some love on this one. I think Dustin May, he's kind of the unsung hero. He comes in. He pitched well. He definitely was transitioning to, I think, a different role potentially. It was the first time he pitched in relief since 2020. He had a lot of traffic in this one. In each of his 5 innings of work, there were runners on base, but he's stranded 5 hits and 3 walks. So he was working his way around a lot of contact and not the best command, but thankfully he was able to get 4 strikeouts that helped him avoid damage. And really, the big key sequence of the game defensively was 8th inning. Dodgers up 4 runs. You got runners on the corners, and May was pulled. And then Tanner Scott comes in, and he stranded those runners. And it was thanks in large part to a fantastic play there by Tommy Edman at third base. There was a liner there, and Bader just smokes one, and Tommy Edman made a great play to leave those runners on third. If that play does not get made, you probably get at least a run scored. Who knows, maybe 2 runs scored. It's a 5-3 game. We saw what happened there in the 9th inning where Kirby Yates did not look crisp, and you lose Tanner Scott. Who knows what would have happened in this one. But all in all, a decent performance by Dustin May. And I think for him, it's just about being a healthy pitcher who's helping this team win games. And you can say that he hasn't been elite. You can say he hasn't been an all-star pitcher, but has he helped this team win games this season? He certainly has. And you can never have enough depth from starting pitching, and we know that from years of suffering injuries. And if this is a role that he could excel in, it's going to be an opportunity. Either that be Dustin May or Emmet Sheehan or Tony Gonsolin. Someone is going to be piggybacking with Shohei Ohtani most likely. So I think it was a good audition for Dustin May, and here was him after the game.
Dustin, I know it's been a minute since you've come out of the bullpen, but how did you find settling into this one, ultimately, really, whenever there was traffic, finding ways out of it?
Just trusting my stuff. There's definitely been a lot of ups and downs this year. Just been trying to get some mechanical cues like lockdown to try and figure some stuff out to be able to get more hitters out. And I thought it was a little better tonight. There was some rocky spots, but overall I was able to kind of find my groove back whenever I lost it.
Those cues you're mentioning, was it more of making sure you're finding them in game as well? Is that something you found that you were able to get back to today?
Yeah, it wasn't just like non-competitive ABs. They did a great job of fouling stuff off and getting my pitch count up, but I thought overall I was pretty good in zone.
What were you able to turn to as like cue to get you locked back with your mechanics?
It's just more of like a finishing thought instead of like a starting out of the. That's more of an upper body cue instead of lower body.
Dustin, Will Smith has been a constant all season long for you guys, in good times and bad. How valuable has he been for this team this year?
Oh, he's been huge. He's definitely been the rock in our lineup, and every time he's up to bat, you can count on him to get the job done. He's huge.
So there was Dustin May, and I think a positive performance for D. May. I think Code Red understood the assignment, and he went out there and he performed well. I do want to mention there was a blunder. Now, we talked about the Dodgers just not getting very many run-scoring opportunities, and that was evidenced throughout this one. Oral Hershiser was mentioning it during the broadcast, and yes, the truth is the Dodgers, they're just not getting the same amount of run scoring opportunities as most teams. I mean, this year, teams are averaging 9.66 plate appearances per game with runners in scoring position. The Dodgers on the season, they're right in this stretch at 7.33 per game during that 2-10 stretch. And their average is kind of right in the middle of the pack. I mean, during the month of May, they did a great job of getting runners in scoring position, but that number has dipped in this slide, 7.33 per game when the big league average is 9.66. The Dodgers are at 9.58 on the season. It was right there in the middle. But even when they did get an opportunity with runners in scoring position, and they did get a hit with Varland on the mound, Conforto with 2 outs and a runner on second, he singled to left, and Freddie Freeman was sent by Dino Ebel when you could see the ball in the left fielder's glove and Freddie Freeman hadn't gone past third base. It was probably the worst send you're going to see all year, and Freddie Freeman was out easily at the plate, so they couldn't capitalize and get another run. I think in that situation, when you factor in this is Freddie Freeman dealing with an ankle injury all season long, I mean, I just do not understand that send. Thankfully, Freddie Freeman was in the lineup, and he doubled to right in this one, and he's talked about just finding a hit cue that has worked for him, but still, that was a dangerous send for that. But Dodgers get the win 5-2. Let's all collectively give a big LOL to Carlos Correa, who thought he hit one out to tie the game, but he flies out, and the Dodgers, they get back in the win column. But the big story now is what is the latest on Tanner Scott, who left the game. You saw him flexing his hand, kind of grabbing something. The velocity was down just a little bit. Well, here was Dave Roberts. He spoke to reporters just minutes ago in the Dodgers media room with an update on Tanner Scott.
Well, emotionally, not well, obviously. So the early, so he just felt something in his forearm as far as like a sting sensation. So we're going to get an MRI tomorrow, and we'll know more after that. So obviously, anytime a pitcher's got to come out of the game, then it's concerning. And so I think for us, we're just going to kind of sit back and wait for the results to kind of, further assess.
Is it, obviously that's news you don't want to hear, is it challenging then when you do pick up a win after what this last 2 weeks have looked like, and obviously kind of the excitement of that, positive of Shohei and Dustin and the offense getting back on track?
It is. And, we've lost guys. We're trying to get guys back. And then to lose him for any length of time is obviously a blow Yeah, and you win a game, and there's a lot of good things that happen tonight, but it certainly takes a little bit of the joy out of tonight.
Did you say you felt it on one pitch, or was this like over the course of the outing?
One pitch. I'm not sure which pitch it was, but he said he felt like a sting. I think it was probably the pitch before I went out there.
Were you guys able to do any manual testing?
There was an X-ray, there was manual testing, and then both those were positive. So that's a good thing.
What do you think of Shohei both ways tonight?
I thought obviously the homer was great, and then he punched out a few times after that. I still thought he was fine in the batter's box. Tonight on the pitching side, I just felt that the location, the command wasn't what it was the last few outings. I don't think you can really argue or complain about an 0-1 sweeper. That's the second pitch of the game for the homer. But even after that, it was there was a lot more misfires tonight than there had been.
Yeah, I think all in all, the fastball velocity on Shohei was down a little bit. The command wasn't as great, but the stuff when it was playing, I think, was really nasty, and there's still something to build on. And look, it's like any pitcher. It's not just all linear. You're going to have your setbacks at times. You're not going to look as crisp at times. I mean, think about it. Shohei was just the man at All-Star, and he got a lot of attention. So, I mean, I look at that four-seamer he had up in the zone to Clemens that got the punch-out to end the first inning when he got Lenark with that sweeper down. I mean, I still think the stuff was playing, and I still feel good about Shohei Ohtani. Now, what he said about Tanner Scott is concerning because the pitcher, this is your $72 million man. You're not even through a full season, and he's feeling a stinger. He hasn't had himself the year that he had hoped. So, yeah, I wish Tanner Scott complete health, and hopefully the recovery is great and it's nothing serious, and you get him back in that bullpen as soon as possible because he is going to be key to the Dodgers postseason run. But if we haven't seen every siren go off and every single alarm go off, Andrew Friedman, if you're watching this, you got to go big. We're not talking about let's just pick up a serviceable reliever. No, you got to go big, whether it be a David Bednar, an Emmanuel Clase, a Ryan Helsley, a Johan Duran, a Mason Miller, who we'll talk about tomorrow as a possibility. It's clear at this point, the baseball gods are telling you, look, we know you didn't want to go big at the deadline because of the prospect capital cost. We know that it is an absolute seller's market, but you need an elite high leverage reliever. And if you don't get one, it really, to me, says, look, we're all in financially. There's no doubt about that. But to go all the way in where it's burn the boats, no looking back, I believe that the 2025 Dodgers are just a piece away from going back-to-back and making baseball history and being the first team since the 2000 Yankees to win back-to-back titles. You got to go out there, parades over prospects. And look, that does not mean that Tanner Scott can't be a key part of this bullpen. It just means that you need some reinforcements. You lost Evan Phillips. Blake Treinen has question marks. You did bring up Edgardo Henriquez, which has a lot of potential, but the warning signs are there. And if you needed another reason to go get a guy, let tonight be the last straw. Pick up the phone. And yes, after tonight, let's be honest, one big takeaway, the Dodgers lost some leverage when it comes to negotiations to getting a high leverage reliever, because I guarantee they're picking up the phone and say, hey, Andrew, we saw that Tanner Scott felt something. You're going to need our guy even more now. And Andrew Friedman's going to be like, I know. And then you got to kind of rework things. So that's just where they're at. And look, hopefully it's nothing serious. But, hey, the truth is you're not going to win a World Series with Kirby Yates and Tanner Scott as your main guys down the stretch, right? You need Blake trying to be a part of that mix. You need Michael Kopech to come back. You need Brusdar Graterol. You just need more firepower in that Dodgers bullpen, and tonight was more evidence of that. If that's a bigger takeaway tonight than anything that Shohei or Will or Andy Pajes or Dustin May did, it is the writing is on the wall. You need to go out there and get a power reliever, or you're going to be in trouble in October. But, hey, a great win. Anytime Carlos Correa goes 0 for 5, anytime Carlos Correa flies out to end the game, it makes me happy. And you know what? It also makes me sick that there are fans. And I'm not telling people how to fan. You can fan how you want. I respect everyone's opinions and their ways to fan. But it makes me sick to think that there are Dodgers fans that support Carlos Correa or want to see him in a Dodgers uniform. The truth is, once a trash throw, always a trash throw. That is never going to change. At the end of the day, Carlos Correa was a big reason why Clayton Kershaw's legacy isn't the same. It's a big reason why that 2017 team that all of us love so much, that felt like a special team that deserved to win a World Series, didn't. And I'll never forget being at Dodgers Stadium and hearing fans tell me that one of the reasons why they can never forget the Astros and forgive them is because they had family members that passed away that will never get to see the Dodgers win another World Series. So that's always top of mind for me. And that's why I will never forgive Carlos Correa or any of those trash throws for doing that. But, I did talk to Alex Bregman, and I was kind of grinding my teeth, just kind of doing my job a little bit. But still, I mean, the truth is, that was just the night. But all right, guys, let's get into your comments for the rest of the show. Welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show, #1 Dodgers post-game show on YouTube. Now it's all about you guys. Ellis Shiva-Jones, Dustin May did a good job. Parker Lee, Mookie batting first is the way. Hey, guys, did I not say this? I mean, did I not say that he should have been batting first because you want to help him? You want to help get him right, and you want to sacrifice those plate appearances? Richard Flores says, Kim got a hit tonight. Dave will bench him for the next 2 weeks. Yeah, it was good to see Hesung Kim have some success and just continue to build. Look, the truth of the matter is with Hesung Kim, anytime he has success, every at-bat is important to him. It's pivotal to his development because you're facing big league pitching. And, well, Hesung Kim actually did get a hit in the box score. But still, I mean, put the bat on the ball, and you just want to get on base any way you can. So I think for Kim, it's just about playing sturdy defense, not falling into a deep slump, and he's going to get opportunities for this team for sure. No trade May, please. I don't think they will. He doesn't have a ton of value, to be honest, because he's on an expiring contract. But Foxy, Dustin May looking good with shorter hair. Scott is a Padres mole. Okay, so we're back to him being a double agent. Himmy Turner says, Tanner Scott raised my blood pressure watching him close. Ellis Shiva-Jones, DFA Tanner Scott. We got JP Bullet. Hear me out. What if we traded Conforto for Aaron Judge? Who says no? I love that, Jay Bullet. Hey, maybe if Nico Harrison was the GM of the Yankees instead of Brian Cashman, maybe they would be able to pull that off. Himmy Turner, Code Red. Nice. DFA Manfred. I like it. I like this lineup from Abel A. And another thing, too, about the lineup, too, is Will Smith, I think he should be in the 3-hole. I really do. I mean, Teoscar Hernandez, you want to give him at-bats and get him healthy. But right now, the Dodgers' best lineup is Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, Will Smith, and Freddie Freeman in that order. And it should stay that way for the foreseeable future. And when Max Muncy comes back, you let him get a rhythm. But just imagine if that top 4 can produce runs and the middle of your lineup is Max Muncy and Teoscar Hernandez, 2 guys that would be your number 2 or 3 hitters for the vast majority of teams in Major League Baseball. Let's not forget how much potential this lineup has when they're healthy to be as good as any lineup in baseball, and I still believe in this lineup. Ed Sabatka, loved Outman's defense. Yeah, give James Outman and Tommy Edman credit for their defense today. You saw the bad defense on Sunday. Well, you had James Outman robbing Carlos Correa of a home run, a little bit of a rob job, more of a nice catch, but still, he did a really nice job reading that and not letting that one get past him. I mean, James Outman doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would allow balls to get over his head and just kind of run it on stuff. So he's just a really good center fielder, and he had a good read. They were playing no doubles on that, playing good, solid, stout defense, and let's look at where that was. So it would have been a home run in 0 of 30 parks, but it did have an expected batting average of 950. It had an exit velocity of 106.6. So it was a well-hit ball, and James Outman made a really nice play on it, and let's all collectively laugh at Carlos Correa. Give me a Nelson. Okay. Yeah. I mean, seriously. I still can't. It makes me sick. It makes me want to throw up to think of him in a Dodgers uniform. Only good thing would be you could boo him 60 plus. You could boo him 81 times a year. Scott is done. Not a huge factor anyway. Unthink unknown 26. Hopefully that's not the case. You guys talking about Dino Abel's send. Wasn't a good send from him. Paul Gutierrez, Dodgers should try to get Chapman if available. We talked about him. Just allowed out Carlos. I like that. Not concerning addition by subtraction. I feel great. That is from Tay Snenden. Jay Bullitt, honestly, I'm not really into having a dedicated closer. We won in 2020 without using Jansen as a closer. I mean, totally agree. You never want to have a dedicated closer. That's archaic. That's old school baseball. But you do want to have some high leverage guys that you can trust at the end of games. So, I mean, the truth is you're going to be playing some matchups, and sometimes the most important part of the game is in the 7th and the 8th inning against the top of the lineup or the middle of the order, 2, 3, 4, 5 hitters, and you got to use guys accordingly. So I totally agree with that, but I also think that if you get the right guy, he can get the lion's share of saves. We got Chapman would be great. We want the Brewers from Matt. Dr. V, I would take Chapman just for this season. We've talked about him a lot. Dodgers, nice game. A 2,000 yen super chat. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Henry Huang, it'd be funny as hell if we picked up Urias and Bauer. There's a better chance that the Dodgers would retire Carlos Correa's number than the Dodgers getting Urias and Bauer back. I'm just telling you that's the facts. There's really no discussion there as far as internally within the organization. So, you guys know my role here. I don't spend time on things that have 0% or less, a 0% chance of happening, and that's just the truth of the matter with those two guys. But I don't know. Miller would cost a farm. He absolutely would for sure. He's really good though. But Nick, bro, the look on Doc's face when Outman caught the ball says, "Oh yeah, Doc definitely was going to be sick in that one." D-Mac, did you talk to Outman? I've talked to Outman a good amount of times. I'll try to catch up with him tomorrow. Justin Lamas, happy birthday, Tanner Scott. For your birthday, you get an MRI and TJ. Come on. We don't say that. We don't say TJ around here. That's like Voldemort. You don't say his name, okay? We're going to pray for the best. Let's get the prayer circles out. It's worked this year. The candle and the prayer circles, okay? It works. It worked this year. Freddie Freeman. Thanks, D-Mac, for the show tonight. We needed a win show. Absolutely. I totally agree. We definitely needed a win show. And it feels good to get back in the dub column. Stepbrother D-Mac. What up, Stepbrother D-Mac? $5 super chat. Appreciate that. I'm not willing to part ways with DePaula or Hope in a trade, even for Quan and Clase. I know the parades over prospects, but these two will get us a parade. Yeah, I will say this. Internally, they are higher on Hope than DePaula, but DePaula's stock has continued to rise, and he's a true great asset for them, and I think it depends. I mean, I think the Dodgers would easily give up DePaula for Clase and Quan if they felt like Mike Conforto was not going to be the answer and they were truly after a top closer, top reliever, but it's giving up multiple top guys that you want to avoid, and you want to try to see if you can give some of those win now pieces. I know a lot of teams are interested in guys like Justin Robleski. I can tell you that. We've got Claudia. Will Smith has been solid all season. True MVP candidate. Absolutely. Didn't O'Neal Cruz. We got Outman deserves real playing time. Hey, he's got to make the most of his opportunities for sure. For him, it's never been about the defense. It's been about hitting. I enjoyed today's game. I like Outman from Soup over there. Delirium 9. Throw Outman a bone and put him in the starting lineup on Tuesday. That'd be a good reward for sure. Dark Radar. Hey, D-Mac, what's your ideal trade deadline? If it was you, what players would you like? That's a really good question. That's a question I probably will answer in more detail on tomorrow's show. But I will say that from a dream standpoint, I mean, if Byron Buxton were to waive his no-trade clause, you go that route. I talked about Luis. If you guys go back, I talked a lot about trades today on the flagship show, Dodgers Dugout Live, along with the All Access All-Star Game vlog. Luis Robert Jr. still has a ton of upside. He's very young. If you could get him on a buy low, I think Luis Robert Jr., along with a top-level closer, whether that be a David Bednar, Emmanuel Clase, didn't pitch as great in the postseason, so I'm not the biggest Emmanuel Clase guy, but the team definitely is interested in him. But if you could get any of these guys, I think I look at if you're going to get a closer from one team and a position player from another team, my top two guys is Johan Duran from the Twins and Luis Robert Jr. from the White Sox, because I just think that you would not have to give top prospects for him. And Johan Duran, you would have to give some because he's still under multiple years of team control. But I think he's one of the most kind of underrated players in the league. I think he's got an electric walkout song, but electric stuff, more importantly, and he's young, and I want to see this team get younger so they can sustain. But good question. I'll talk more about it tomorrow because I got some bench bats in mind too, because with Kike Hernandez's injury, I think they need to solidify the bench as well. Couple more here before we head out. We'll be at the game tomorrow. So that'll be. Oh, I love this Foxy Cinnamon Panda Express for everyone. Yeah, I feel like I've lost like 20 pounds. Okay, I've been on like I only eat when it's Panda Express, that and tortas. But yeah, absolutely. Finally, no Trevino. Yep, Trevino's gone. Like I said, I told you that he would probably be gone, and he is. Buxton is prone to injury, but don't get me wrong, really good player, risky trade. It's a risky trade, Mikey. And here's the thing: the Twins haven't even made him available. He has a no trade clause, and he said at the All-Star Game Media Day that he wants to basically retire as a Twin. So he's not someone that's necessarily on the block, and he would require a lot. And you're right. He's someone that, I mean, even tonight's game, he hit one off his leg and he looked like he might have been injured. So that kind of made me a little nervous just watching that. And Luis Robert Jr. too is another guy that has injury issues himself. But I mean, look, there's no perfect player, especially when you're trying to acquire talent at the deadline with an expanded postseason and more buyers than sellers. So you have to take a risk on a lot of these guys. That's the truth. Even someone we talked about like Jarren Duran, who the Padres have shown interest in. He's someone that hits the ball hard. He's really fast. He does some things, but he's had himself a down year this year, but hits the ball hard. Someone like Steven Kwan doesn't hit the ball hard at all. Actually makes the weakest contact in all of Major League Baseball on average. So unless you're an Aaron Judge or a Shohei Ohtani or one of these just ultra elite players, you can spot the pimple on a model and you can find their issues, right? D-Mac kind of looks like a panda. Claudia Levin, I don't know how I should feel about that, but I appreciate the comment, though. We got Granky warming up the arm for D-Mac. What up, Nufo? Ellis Shiva Jones. Ryan Ward has a hot bat. D-Mac, would you do Bumfardo trade for Carlos Correa, Hemi Turner? No. Once a trash throw, always a trash throw. We got can't believe they still pulled out the win even after using their three worst pitchers today. That's from Jeremy H. Call up Joe Kelly for closer. All right, guys, but that's going to do it for this episode of the Dodgers Nation Postgame Show. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. Tomorrow we'll be attending the game. Got some interviews, Jose Mota. Hopefully we get Miguel Rojas. And join the Discord, because tomorrow I'm going to be really active on our Discord, dropping pictures, dropping nuggets, anything we're seeing or hearing at the game. So definitely join our Discord, and that way I want you guys to start calling the show. Will you guys call the show, because we're opening up a new voicemail line where you guys can leave messages, and it's going to be a once a week thing. It's going to be really awesome to hear you guys. I want your hot takes. I want all your thoughts, comments, and questions on all things Dodger baseball. Like I said, my favorite thing about this show is I put the comments on the screen because I want this to be your show to voice your opinions and your takes. I know I get 3,000, 4,000 comments a show, so we can't get to all of them, but I read as many as anyone. I read more than anyone, and I try to give you guys as big of a voice as you can. So definitely be a part of the action and join that Discord so we can communicate. But that's going to do it, guys. Dodgers get the dub. They snap the losing streak. All is right in Dodger baseball, except there's some injury issues that we'll learn more about tomorrow with Tanner Scott. But still, it was an exciting night at Dodger Stadium, and LA gets the win. But that's going to do it. If you haven't yet, be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button for your Los Angeles Dodgers. Remember, nothing, absolutely nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. Nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I'm
Sandy into his windup. Here's the pitch.